the St. Louis Blues' current offensive struggles are starkly highlighted by the projected season-end scoring pace of their leading players. At the forefront of this concerning trend are Robert Thomas, Pavel Buchnevich, and Justin Falk. With the 2025-26 NHL season currently underway, projections extending to its conclusion paint a grim picture for the team's offensive output. This demonstrates a significant failure in goal production, directly contributing to the team's poor standing within the National Hockey League. Looking back, the Blues finished the 2024-25 season as the 13th highest scoring team in the league. Following this, the front office made strategic additions, bringing in new offensive pieces designed to bolster their scoring capabilities further. However, despite these investments, the current 2025-26 season sees the team languishing at the bottom of the NHL standings. The core issue lies in the severe underperformance of the team's ostensibly talented offensive players. General manager Doug Armstrong has openly considered a blowing up of the core group, a sentiment directly fueled by this undeniable lack of production and the team's overall disappointing performance. Robert Thomas, despite currently leading the team in points, epitomizes this struggle. He has accumulated 33 points through 50 games played before being placed on injured reserve. If he were to return to action and maintain his current scoring rate, he is projected to finish the season with a mere 54 points. This figure is particularly alarming when considering his performance just last season, where Thomas recorded 60 assists alone, showcasing a dramatic and concerning drop in overall offensive contribution. Pavel Buchnevich, another key offensive player, currently sits at 25 points. At his present pace, Buchnevich is projected to conclude the season with only 41 points. Similarly, defenseman Justin Falk, contributing from the blue line, has 23 points to his name. His projection for the end of the season stands at 38 points. When examining the collective output of these three leading scorers, Thomas, Buchnevich, and Falk, their combined projected point total for the entire season reaches only 133 points. This sum becomes even more concerning when compared to elite players across the league. For instance, Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche has already amassed 85 points through just 48 games this season. MacKinnon is on pace to finish with an astonishing 145 points, potentially surpassing the combined total of the Blues' top three offensive contributors. This stark contrast in scoring output provides substantial validation for the general manager's contemplation of a major roster overhaul. It clearly indicates that these players, despite their previous achievements and perceived talent, are not performing at an elite level comparable to the likes of MacKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, or Jack Eichel. While strong defense and solid goaltending are undeniably crucial components of a successful hockey team, offensive scoring remains fundamental to winning games. This is precisely the area where the St. Louis Blues have demonstrably failed this season, underscoring the urgent need for a significant strategic shift. The current trajectory suggests a fundamental flaw in the team's offensive structure and execution, demanding immediate and drastic attention from the organization. The implications of this sustained underperformance extend beyond mere statistics, impacting team morale, fan engagement, and ultimately, the franchise's competitive viability in the long term. The implications of this sustained underperformance extend beyond mere statistics, impacting team morale, fan engagement, and ultimately, the franchise's competitive viability in the long term. This crisis is not an isolated incident, but rather a culmination of systemic issues that have plagued the team, despite previous attempts at rejuvenation. The general manager's frustration is palpable, reflecting a broader sentiment within the organization that the current composition is simply not delivering on its potential. The question facing the Blues management is not just how to improve, but whether the existing core can ever be truly competitive again. The data unequivocally suggests a deep-seated problem that mere tactical adjustments are unlikely to resolve. The Blues' offensive struggles are further exacerbated by their inability to convert power play opportunities, a critical aspect of modern NHL success. Historically, strong power plays can mask deficiencies in even-strength scoring, but the Blues have consistently ranked near the bottom of the league in this metric. This failure adds another layer to their offensive woes, preventing them from capitalizing on numerical advantages that could otherwise generate much-needed goals. The lack of a consistent net front presence and an inability to execute complex passing plays under pressure have rendered their power play largely ineffective, turning potential scoring chances into wasted opportunities. This systemic failure on special teams further highlights the broad offensive dysfunction within the roster. Moreover, the team's ability to generate high-danger scoring chances at even strength has significantly declined. Analytics reveal a trend of perimeter shots and an absence of sustained pressure in the offensive zone. Opposing defenses often find it relatively easy to contain the Blues' attack, forcing them into low-percentage shots from unfavorable angles. This tactical predictability makes it easier for goalies to track pucks and for defenders to clear rebounds, effectively stifling any momentum the Blues might attempt to build. The creative spark, once a hallmark of some of these players, appears to have diminished, leading to a stagnant and easily defended offensive scheme. The onus is on the coaching staff to devise more dynamic strategies, but the talent available must also be capable of executing them. The individual slumps of key players are also a major contributing factor to the team's overall offensive anemia. Robert Thomas, while a skilled playmaker, has seen his individual shot production decrease, and his ability to drive play has been inconsistent. Pavel Buchnevich, known for his scoring touch, has struggled with finishing chances that he previously converted with regularity. Justin Faulk, a defenseman relied upon for offense from the blue line, has seen his shot accuracy and overall offensive impact wane. These individual downturns, collectively, create a significant void that the rest of the roster has been unable to fill. The lack of a consistent secondary scoring threat means that when the top lines are struggling, the team has no reliable alternative to generate offense. The financial implications of these underperforming contracts also present a significant challenge for general manager Doug Armstrong. With several players on long-term, high-value deals, moving them to facilitate a rebuild becomes complex. Buyouts carry cap penalties, and trades often require retaining salary or taking back equally undesirable contracts. This handcuffs the management's ability to make swift, impactful changes, necessitating a more strategic and patient approach to roster reconstruction. The current situation demands a delicate balance between retaining valuable assets and shedding unproductive ones, all while navigating the rigid constraints of the NHL salary cap. This financial inflexibility amplifies the urgency of the performance issues. The fan base, once optimistic after the previous season's promise, has grown increasingly disillusioned. Attendance figures have shown a slight decline, and social media engagement reflects a growing frustration with the team's direction. The emotional investment of the fan base is directly tied to the team's performance, and the current state of affairs is testing that loyalty. Rebuilding trust and rekindling excitement will require not only significant roster changes, but also a clear, transparent communication strategy from the organization. The long-term health of the franchise depends on reconnecting with its core supporters and demonstrating a credible path back to contention. This period of underperformance is not merely a blip, but a critical juncture for the St. Louis Blues. The current offensive predicament for the St. Louis Blues is starkly illustrated by the individual scoring pace of their leading players. Robert Thomas, despite leading the team in points, has experienced a significant decline in his offensive output. Having played 50 games this season, Thomas has accumulated 33 points. If he maintains this scoring rate upon his return from injured reserve, his projected total for the season would be a modest 54 points. This figure represents a considerable regression, especially when considering his performance last season, where he recorded 60 assists alone, demonstrating his capacity for higher production. The drop from 60 assists to a projected 54 total points underscores a fundamental issue in the team's ability to capitalize on his playmaking or his own reduced offensive engagement. Pavel Buchnevich, another key offensive asset, also reflects this pervasive scoring struggle. Currently, Buchnevich has 25 points. Extrapolating his current pace over a full season, he is on track to finish with approximately 41 points. This output is significantly lower than what is expected from a player of his caliber, particularly one who has consistently demonstrated the ability to score at a higher rate in previous seasons. His offensive contributions are crucial, and his current trajectory indicates a substantial underperformance relative to his established capabilities and role within the team. Similarly, defenseman Justin Faulk, relied upon for offensive contributions from the blue line, mirrors the team's overall scoring woes. Faulk has registered 23 points this season. His projected full season total, based on his current pace, stands at 38 points. While defensemen typically have lower offensive totals than forwards, Falk's projection represents a decline from his more productive campaigns, where his offensive presence was a more consistent factor in the Blues' attack. The collective dip in scoring from these three established players paints a clear picture of the team's offensive challenges. When examining the combined offensive output of these three leading scorers, the data becomes even more concerning. The total projected points for Thomas, Buchnevich, and Falk, combined for the entire season, amount to only 133 points. This combined total is not just low for a team's top offensive contributors, it is strikingly low when compared to elite players across the league. For instance, Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche, through just 48 games this season, has already accumulated 85 points. He is projected to finish the season with an astonishing 145 points, potentially surpassing the combined total of the Blues' top three offensive talents. This direct comparison highlights the vast chasm between the Blues' current offensive production and the standards set by top-tier players in the NHL. This stark contrast in scoring output directly validates General Manager Doug Armstrong's consideration of a major roster overhaul. The performance of these key players, particularly when juxtaposed against the league's elite like MacKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, or Jack Eichel, indicates that the Blues' core is not performing at the level required for sustained success. The expectation for players on their contracts and roles is to be primary offensive drivers, capable of consistently contributing at an elite offensive level. Their current projections demonstrate a clear failure to meet these expectations, signaling a fundamental issue that transcends individual slumps and points towards a systemic problem within the team's offensive structure and execution. While defensive solidity and strong goaltending are undeniably crucial components of a successful hockey team, offensive scoring remains a fundamental prerequisite for winning games. The ability to consistently put the puck in the net, to create and convert scoring chances, and to apply sustained pressure on opposing defenses is paramount. The St. Louis Blues' current season has been marred by a profound failure in this critical area. The projected scoring paces of their leading players are not merely statistics. They are symptomatic of a deeper issue that has left the team struggling at the bottom of the league standings. This offensive deficiency is the primary driver behind their poor performance and underscores the urgent need for significant strategic and personnel changes if the franchise intends to return to contention. The numbers speak for themselves, offering an unequivocal assessment of the team's current state.